Hello, I am back again to do another review for you. This time it's going to be on a 6-tier wire shelving system by Steupoek. This is a system that is self-assembly, so I've started to actually put this together, but because there's a lot of nuances with putting this together, I kind of wanted to stop here. Just for the sake of time and efficiency so that you could kind of see some of the things I'm talking about. First of all, everything that you need comes in the box except for something you will probably want, which is a rubber mallet. Just makes putting these together a whole lot easier. You're going to end up with 6 wire shelves. You're going to have all your hardware. You're going to have 3 sets of 4 uprights. Now, the 4 uprights, they do not tell you this in the instructions. They're going to be a little bit more specific than what you see here. These bottom ones, you can see that I have casters that I've screwed into the bottom rather than regular feet. And there's only 1 set of uprights that will accept these casters for screwing in. So you're going to have to locate that first. I would recommend finding those 4 uprights and putting your casters on, making sure that you have the locking casters in the front and the non-locking casters in the back. It'll just make for easier movement for you as you go to move this for any kind of cleaning and just anything else you may need to do as far as adjusting your placement of your shelves. So the other thing that isn't necessarily in your directions, I will get to in a little bit, but I wanted to show you some other things about the uprights first before I start actually showing you how to put this together. The second set of uprights, you're going to get 4 of these double screws in your hardware set. And these double screws, you're going to get your second set of 4, and you want to put 1 in the top and 1 in the bottom, because as you build up, that's what's going to connect your bottom upright to the last 4 for the height in your shelving. These aren't as particular. You can actually not interchange them, but it doesn't matter whether you put the bars this way or this way when you put it together. Just make sure that you have the right set of uprights that you put the double screws in, because the last set is going to have a top like this, along with an area like this to screw on. And that's so that when you have your last shelf on top, you're not looking down at an opening. So they're not labeled at all in the box. It's just something that you want to be aware of when you're separating out your pieces, because it's going to make this a whole lot easier when you go to put things together if you know which pieces go with what. The other thing that you're going to get, these are plastic clips that are going to attach to your upright. So I'm going to put this on just so you can kind of see in the assembly process how the last piece will be put together. And of course, that's exactly how you would attach this to the lower piece. And then these grooves correspond with your shelf placement. So it kind of helps you keep everything at an even level. These 2 clips actually clip together, and they tell you what is the top and what is the bottom, because as you put these together, let's put the next shelf right here. You can see how it's kind of angled. That's going to be important for when you place the shelving down over the actual clips. And something else I'm going to show you that wasn't explained is when your shelving arrives, these little rings, plastic rings, will be inside between the shelves in the stack box. I had no clue what these were, whether they needed to be removed, whether they were part of the entire building process. I contacted the manufacturer. This is just something that is placed there for stability during the shipping. It concerned me a little bit because since we're talking about shipping for the moment, when they ship this to you, it's going to come in this kind of box. This is not a weight tested box like you would normally get with most deliveries. It's actually more like your packing box for materials that I would expect would be put into a weight tested box. You can see when anything actually comes in counter with this particular box, it collapses. So it's not really a good box for shipping. When I received it, this was kind of torn on the end. It had tears here. The box was actually sitting askew and the contents inside was askew. As I was opening things, I was also seeing these pieces and they had come apart and they were broken. So it kind of concerned me for a little bit. Once I took everything out, of course, everything's in fine shape for building, but you should be aware that if it comes directly from the company, this is how it's going to be shipped. It may or may not be reason for concern for you. For me, it wasn't so long as the parts inside were okay, but again, it would be nice if they would ship it in a more sturdy box. Amazon may ship that way. I ordered this directly from the company. So the link I gave you for ordering is for Amazon, and perhaps they will do a little bit better of a job in shipping it than the company does directly. But getting back to actually building these, I'm going to go ahead and try to put the shelving on. I have 2 left to do. And again, these just screw right on because I want to give you an idea of how quickly this will get put together. The trick at this point, once you have the 4 uprights in place, is just making sure that you have all of these clips level. So I'm trying to do this mostly by eye and just make sure that I have everything to the same height. The other nice thing is these bars actually have some lines on them. So if I wanted to, I could kind of count lines and kind of make sure that way that I have everything correct. So give me 1 second to get these on correctly, and then we'll slide that next shelf on. And these just snap into place. I do try to, as I make the snap, just anchor these down into one of the grooves so that they're secure and don't move as I put my shelving into place. It kind of holds these clips in there securely rather than keeping them from sliding. So when you place the shelf on, you'll notice that one end is wider than another end. The other thing you're going to notice is that you have a guard here. So you always want that guard up rather than down when you're putting the shelving on. The reason being is it won't fit on the clips correctly if you don't do it that way. So this just slides right over. And then here's where your rubber mallet's going to come in. You probably could just leave this the way it is if you want to make sure this is just a little more secure. And you can see I do get some play by using the rubber mallet. That is how you would just secure your shelves using that. So I'm going to put the last 4 clips on, put the top shelf on, and then I have just a couple other things that I want to show you. We're going to put this clip at the top. So you can see the clips snap on pretty easily. This isn't going to be rocket science putting it together. I'm going to remove those annoying little plastic pieces, make sure I have my shelf in the right direction. Put the last 4 together. Everything, and that's your shelving system. So the nicest thing about this is, you know, you can make your shelves pretty much adjustable to whatever height you want if you have specific things you're looking at putting on here. You do get some other pieces in the hardware. Sorry, some of these fell on the floor. And again, this is not in your instructions, so I had to kind of figure this out for myself. These 4 little, they look like plugs. If for some reason this piece would ever come out or you would lose it, they can act as replacement pieces for the top. Then they also gave me 4 of these. The only thing I can assume, since it obviously doesn't go with anything on here, is that these are made for some sort of wall attachment so that this can hook on here and it'll add stability to the shelving system and keep it from falling away from the wall. That's my best guess anyway, since again, this isn't explained at all anywhere in the kit. It's not sticky on any side. I'm assuming you'd probably just have to drill holes through the plastic into the wall. So you can use your best guess on that one as well. Then the last thing I got were 4 of these. Again, not 100% sure what they were for because there's nothing in the explanation. But I imagine, you know, if you have some sort of plant or something that you want to hang, they might come in handy for that. There's just no explanation in the directions as to why you've received these, so consider them a bonus. And that is pretty much everything I have to tell you about this particular wire rack system. I'm going to use mine in my pantry, and I have had these before, so I'm pretty familiar with them. They do hold the groceries well, and they will stand up to the weight of the groceries. So right now, it's just move it on in and put it to use. I hope this helps you if you've ordered this to figure some of this out and make your assembly time a lot quicker than it might normally go.